One of the sleeping issues in the Gaven by-election may turn out to be the cruise ship terminal proposed for the Gold Coast. Cruise facilities are now in the wind for Brisbane and Townsville as well, but nowhere else have they sparked the same heated debate. Interest groups in Nerang and Coomera, which represent some Gaven voters, have expressed vehement opposition. The state government says it's considering all the ramifications carefully as it tries to prevent the issue gathering electoral steam. Karen Bergman reports.
Luxury cruising is big business, the fastest growing tourism trend worldwide. It combines big ships and big bucks, and it's churning up big political issues for the Gold Coast.
It'll be rarely, if ever, feasible for a large vessel to dock safely here, even after it's dredged.
This is a benchmark issue, and we cannot back down on this.
Basically, I'll lose my business.
We're very much of the view that there can be coexistence.
No, it'll just destroy the area.
It's important to understand that we've yet to make a final decision.
4 years ago, the state government commissioned a study that showed the $200 million cruise ship industry could be passing Queensland by because there was literally nowhere to dock. Now the Gold Coast is being primed for a slice of the lucrative action, involving cruise ships slightly smaller than the Aurora, once the biggest in the world. The plan is to build a terminal on a hectare of public open space at the end of the Southport Spit, dredge the shallow Broadwater and the sometimes tricky Seaway, and bring to the Gold Coast a whole new audience.
We would expect to see the multiplier effect right across the hospitality and tourism sector of the Gold Coast. We would expect that these ships would actually bring visitors who otherwise wouldn't be coming to the Gold Coast.
Among the first to offer some resistance was the dive industry, a group of a dozen independent operators who run thriving businesses based on the biodiversity of the Southport Seaway.
We won't be able to operate out of this area at all, and we do probably 90% of our diving out of this area. This is where we teach people how to dive, and this is where we take most of the tourists.
And this is where divers routinely encounter species once thought to be found only on the reef.
Lionfish, frogfish, seahorses around on the western beach, which are pretty special.
Out in the middle, we get thousands and thousands of trevally, plus we get gropers 8-9 foot long. And then we've had green turtles come up, and I had someone tapping me on the shoulder, and I thought it was Shona. And I turned around, here's this little baby green turtle.
But to accommodate big boats, the Broadwater and the Seaway will need continual dredging for more than a kilometre offshore.
The amount of dredging they have to do originally will be pretty extensive. That'll decimate the marine ecology, and the fact that they're going to have to continue dredging won't give it an opportunity to actually come back or regenerate, so it'll remain pretty much a wasteland.
But the state government says only moderate dredging would be needed, and there won't be heavy traffic, only one ship a fortnight, increasing to one every 10 days.
So it's not like there's going to be, 15 ships coming in and out, and we see that there can in fact be opportunities here for the dive industry. I mean, if a boat pulls up with, thousands of tourists on it, some of them are going to want a diving experience, and we think that there's actually opportunities to grow the dive industry, and you can manage these things in a coexistence kind of way.
That's just one of the many issues to be encompassed by a wide-ranging environmental impact study already underway. But the study will be completed by July. It won't cover August when the westerlies blow, and it won't cover summer at all.
We've got fish that come in and out of this basin a couple of months a year. Now, you can't assess their impact in a 4-month EIS. We need a full year study.
Look, I'm very confident that the company, GHD, who are doing the EIS, are very, very competent to do this work well. I want a really honest, frank EIS, and I want the warts and all picture so we can make a good quality decision.
But there are already questions about a navigational study done by a Malaysian company.
We believe that all the base figures for the simulation to safely dock and cruise vessels here are wrong. They use figures like 1.3 knot current running through the Seaway. We know that it runs at 4 to 6 knots on any day. They used maximum wave heights coming through the outer channel on the Seaway of 1.3 metres. For the entire month of March, it's been well over 2 to 3 metres.
I've certainly had these allegations made, but when those who are making it have been asked repeatedly to provide further information, they haven't done so. So if people have got information, we want to know the truth. We're not about to do something stupid here. If it doesn't stack up, if it can't be done, and from an engineering point of view, if it poses a significant environmental threat, then we'll be reconsidering.
But the proposal has drawn the fire of community groups as far away as Nerang and Coomera. They're concerned about the loss of part of their closest ocean parkland, and they're linked to it by the Nerang River.
Some of these people are looking at 2 or 3 metres between high tide mark and their back doors. So if we get some swells like we have with this cyclonic surf and extra dredging, there's a very good possibility that they're going to have some more flooding issues.
The other big issue is the loss of the wide open spaces. Opponents see the cruise ship terminal as a way to commercialise for the rich something that's been available to everyone, and it's just plain un-Australian.
All I know is that this is just about all that's left.
Yes.
You know, just basic open space, you know. I surf over here occasionally.
Yes.
And when you're in the water, you could be anywhere.
Yes.
Anywhere else on the coast, you're in front of a high road.
Yes.
It seems to me, the way the government's handling it, it looks like a done deal. And I have no idea why.
We have 11,000 signatures on petitions, and we've had several thousand people turn up to all our rallies. So we feel confident that the new superpower, which is people power, will put an end to this.
We'll be nailing ourselves to trees, as green as that sounds. This is just such a huge whole of city issue.
Politically, the question is, could this be one of those dangerous environmental issues, like the Eastern Tollway proposed for a koala habitat? Somehow it galvanised voters far and wide and helped bring down the Goss Labor government.
Well, I would say if Mr Beattie doesn't listen to the people, the Gaven by-election will be a good indicator of that. And yes, I'd say they would have to be very mindful of that in next year's state election.
I can really understand why people are concerned. I grew up at Southport. I know the value of the Spit. I know that it is one of those places where people can just go for a wander, walk their dog, and there aren't a lot of those places at the Gold Coast, and that's the reason why I am so determined to get the balance right.